Hi students, welcome to this interesting session of Habitat of the Living again. Today is session 3 of Habitat of the Living, and today we are going to study about the major habitats of the world. In the previous session we studied about one of the major habitats, that is forests, in detail. We discussed about tropical forests, which is popularly called as rainforests, and temperate forests, which are also called as deciduous forests, and boreal forests, which are also called as coniferous forests or taiga. And in today's session we will learn about the other major habitats, that is grasslands and deserts. So let us start with today's session and learn about these habitats and know something more interesting about these habitats. Yes, deserts. Students, we know that deserts are areas that receive very little rainfall. Like, deserts covers more than 1/3 of the world's land, and they are very hot and dry, or they can be cold also. So don't ever think that deserts are always the areas which are very hot, but they can be dry or cold also. They can also be considered as deserts. Deserts are not always hot, but they are dry or cold. So basically the definition of deserts is very different from being hot or cold. They are characterized by the dry conditions. Dry conditions means the regions where there is usually less than 25 centimeters of rainfall. So usually less than 10 inches per year or 25 centimeters, and a wide temperature range are the characteristics of deserts. The dry air leads to wide daily temperature fluctuations from freezing at night to over 120 degrees during the day. So a desert is defined as a region that has less than 25 centimeters of annual rainfall. So there are most hot and dry deserts which are found near the Tropic of Cancer, which are located near the Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn. And hot and dry deserts temperature ranges from 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. There are cold deserts too, like they are found near the Arctic part of the world. They are located near the Arctic part of the world. A cold desert is a desert that has snow in the winter. So the cold desert's temperature in winter ranges from -2 to 4 degrees Celsius, and in the summer it is 21 to 26 degrees Celsius and in a year. And there are some animals called as desert animals too. They have many adaptations, and there are such plants also which are found in deserts. So we will have a look at it afterwards. So here are some of the beautiful images of some deserts, which are some examples of the deserts, and they are considered to be the biggest deserts of the world. So the first picture of this desert, which you can see here, is the Sahara Desert. This one. This is the Sahara Desert. The second picture which you can see here is the Kalahari Desert, and this is the Thar Desert. So these three are the areas that receive very little rainfall, and you can see here, you can just imagine by the pictures only that there is much less rainfall or very little rainfall. So these are some of the deserts on our planet, right? So in dry or hot deserts, the daytime temperature in summer can reach up to 45 degrees Celsius or even more than that. And basically the annual rainfall in this region is less than 25 centimeter, as we discussed. So there are world's largest deserts on our planet, like Sahara, Kalahari, Thar, Gobi, Great Victoria, Great Sandy, which are located in Australia or Mongolia, China or North Africa. right, in different places. So different deserts are located at different places. So basically they are dry, they are barren landscapes that receive intense sunshine and very little rain. And deserts are also known to be the places of extremes, means they can have extreme temperatures from the climate to the life within them. There is a greater range of temperatures throughout the day in the desert than in any other habitat on earth. Any other habitat means in grassland, mountains or forests or any aquatic region, right? So there is a greater range of temperatures throughout the day in the desert than in any other habitat on earth, which is ranging from below freezing during the night to boiling in the middle of the day. And there is also less than 25 centimeters of rain to fall in the desert every year. So basically there are two main types of deserts, which of them are the hot deserts, which are found on either side of the tropics, and semi-deserts, which are found on every continent, often far from the tropical regions. So the main difference between these hot deserts and the semi-deserts is that a semi-desert receives at least twice as much rain per year as the hot deserts. That is why they are termed as hot deserts. So there are other exceptions too in these deserts, like though deserts are mostly considered to be hot, some are very cold. So this is the main exception, the Gobi Desert, which is the largest desert region in Asia, means in China, basically in China. This is the beautiful picture of the Gobi Desert, and this is the map which is showing where it is exactly located. So this is the Gobi Desert, which stretches across China up to the Siberian mountains, where it stretches across China up to the Siberian mountains. So what happens that the winters in the Gobi Desert become very cold because it stretches across China up to the Siberian mountains, right? So basically, however, there is still little rain as the mountains block the rain clouds and therefore prevent them from reaching the desert. So there are many animal species which are found here, which are known to eat snow in the Gobi Desert in order to take in water. So what will happen that there are some Bactrian camels, wild Bactrian camels, which are known to eat snow in the Gobi Desert, because Gobi Desert is the desert which is very cold, so there is snow. So these camels eat snow, these Bactrian camels eat snow in order to take in water. As we know that snow will obviously, it will melt to the temperature where it will become water, or it will change into water. So it is very helpful for these Bactrian camels to survive over there. So although deserts are thought to be old, or they are thought to hold very little life, there is in fact a great diversity of plants and animals that inhabit in the desert regions, like animals such as camel, kangaroo rat, Gila monster, and Gila monster and rattlesnake are found in these regions, means in desert regions. So there is a great diversity of both plants and animals that inhabit in these desert regions. So this is a beautiful picture of camel, and we can also find some animals, some other animals, like this is the Gila monster, Gila monster. This is the beautiful picture of rattlesnake, which survives in this type of region, and this is a picture of kangaroo rat. So these are some of the animals which are found in deserts, and there are some plants too which are found in deserts, like plants like cactus, opuntia, etc. are found in deserts. So these are the pictures, these are the images of plants which are found in desert. This is cactus, this is also cactus, but this is a very more clear picture of cactus where we can see the spines. So these are some of the adaptations of cactus by which, or we can say that through which it survives in such regions where there is a great difference, right? So these are some of the plants and animals which are found in deserts. So basically, although deserts are thought to hold very little life, there is in fact a great diversity of both plants and animals that inhabit in these regions. So many of the animals that live in the desert have adapted to the nocturnal lifestyle, like only coming above ground at night when it is cooler. There are reptiles such as Gila monster, snakes and lizards, and small birds which are primary animals found in the hot deserts. And in semi-deserts where there are more plants, there are even mammals such as rodents or mere cats. So most of the different animal species that inhabit desert regions have slowly adapted to their dry and arid lifestyle, and they have evolved in certain ways in order for them to take in and use water particles more effectively. For example, a camel, we saw the picture of a camel. Camel stores huge amounts of water in its hump and so that it can cope in its dry environment, such a dry environment. And the tawny devil found in Australia sucks water through channels in its body from its feet to its mouth. So it is this camel which has adapted to this type of climate. So the desert habitats, here you can see this beautiful picture of deserts. So these deserts habitats have been the least affected by the growing human populations, and so they remain relatively untouched. The main destruction of desert habitats comes from the extraction of oil from underneath the sand, and the grazing animals such as goats, which are also known to cause havoc to desert plants, which in turn affects the animals that rely on those plants to survive. So basically it is all about these desert regions which receive less rainfall, and it is mostly untouched and least affected by growing human populations. There is one amazing fact about these regions, that there are cold deserts as well as hot deserts. So cold deserts are in places like Antarctica and Greenland, and hot deserts are obviously the Sahara, Kalahari and Thar. Right? So that was all about the deserts, where it covers more than 1/3 of the world's land and really hot and dry or cold regions. So these desert animals have many adaptations as well to help them survive in the desert climate. Many are nocturnal, means they are active during the cool night rather than hot daylight hours, while some other examples are the morning meteors, vipers, borrowers, and there are also insects, reptiles and birds which are found in these regions. So cold deserts have animals like ground squirrels, jackrabbits and kangaroo rats, while the other animals are camel, rattlesnake and kangaroo rat. Right, so that was all about the desert region, the desert habitat. Now let us move on to other interesting habitat, which forms one of the major habitat on our planet. Yes, grasslands. Students, grasslands are regions which are dominated by grasses, and that is why they are named as such, grasslands. They are big open spaces of grass. Here you can see the image. This is the picture of grassland. They are the big open spaces of grass, and there aren't too many trees and shrubs over here. You can see here there are very small plants over here. Or we can say that most probably grasses are present on these grasslands. Even the temperature ranges between -20 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius, and the annual rainfall varies between 50 and 90 centimeters. So we can see such type of grasses over here. So basically these grasslands are found on either side of two desert belts that circle the earth in the Americas or Africa, Asia and Australia. And about 1/4 of the earth's land is in the grasslands. So basically there are two different types of grasslands, the tropical grasslands and the temperate grasslands. Now what are the tropical grasslands? Yes, the two types of grasslands are the tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. Tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. So these tropical grasslands are those which are closest to the equator, and they are hot all the year round, while the temperate grasslands, they are farther from the equator and they have both hot summers, and as they are far from the equator, they have harsh winters too. So these are two types of grasslands which actually are found on either side of the two desert belts that circle the earth in these continents, America, Africa, Asia and Australia. So there are some species of plants and animals which are found over here, and there is a typical food chain in a grassland which we will discuss later on. So first of all, let us see that what type of or which plants and animals are there or they are found in the grasslands. Yes, grasslands provide shelter to a large variety of animals including elephant, giraffe, gazelle, lion and zebra. So here you can see the picture, beautiful picture of giraffe. This is a mammal. This is the beautiful picture of gazelle, and this is zebra. So these are some of the animals which are found in grasslands. So grasslands are basically also known as prairies or savannas. What they are called as? Prairies or savanna. Means these are the areas where the vegetation is dominated by grasses and other herbaceous, means non-woody plants. They do not have bark or stem like other tall trees or other plants or like shrubs. So grasslands occur naturally on all the continents except Antarctica, and as flowering plants, grasses grow in great concentrations in climates where annual rainfall ranges between 50 and 90 centimeters. So basically the grassland habitat is often greatly dependent on the region in which it is found, as grasslands differ from one another around the world. Like in temperate areas such as Northwest Europe, grasslands are dominated by perennial, means year-round species, whereas in warmer climates, it is the annual plant species that form the greater part of the vegetation. So, because of these climate difference, these type of animals are found over here. And if we talk about the plants, there are some herbaceous plants which are present over here, and we can see grasses on the grasslands. So basically we see grasses on the grasslands and herbaceous plants. Herbaceous plants means the plants with non-woody stems, or we can say that they are non-woody plants. Right, so grasslands are found in most climates, but the grassland vegetation can vary in height from very short to quite tall. Means woody plants, shrubs or trees may occur on some grasslands, forming savanna and scrubby grassland or semi-wooded grasslands such as vast African savanna plains. So there are some savanna plains where we can see the trees, or we can see the woody plants, and some grasslands are sometimes referred to as wood pasture or woodland. Means there are many such trees where we can see they are savanna plains. What they are called as? Yes, they are called as savanna plains, where there are woody plants. So grasslands cover nearly 50% of the African land surface, and grasslands in general support a diverse amount of wildlife or diverse wildlife, where numerous species of insects, small mammals, as we saw, some of the mammals, birds and reptiles can be found inhabiting the areas of grassland around the world, along with various different species of large herbivorous mammals. So due to this open and uncovered nature of grassland, predators are much easier to spot, giving the smaller animals that chance to run away and hide. So given the lack of hiding places for predators, the African savanna regions like this, savanna regions, support a much greater diversity of wildlife than the temperate grasslands do. Because temperate grasslands are the grasslands which are very hot, or they are the ones which have both hot summers and harsh winters too. So it is thought that grassland once covered nearly 2/3 of land on earth, and grasslands have changed rapidly due to agriculture and farming, and today only a small area of grassland still contains its original animals and vegetation. Now you must be thinking that how animals would be surviving over here. Yes, grasslands lack the trees and heavy bush to hide many creatures. So because of this open landscape and widely spaced trees, grasslands are home to large herds of grazing mammals such as zebra. Right? So a typical food chain is there in a grassland, which I would like to discuss with you. There is a typical food chain in grassland. How do animals survive over here? Is that grasses produce over here. So we can say that grass is a producer, and some animals like mouse, they eat this type of grass. So such animals are the primary consumers because they consume the grass. Then comes the animals like snake. They are considered to be the secondary consumer. Why secondary consumer? Because snake can spot mouse easily on these open areas, and so it eats it. So this is the secondary consumer. Snake acts as a secondary consumer. And finally, hawk or the scavengers can spot their prey from a very big height, or we can say that they can spot their prey very easily. So they eat these animals which are the secondary consumers. So hawk or the scavengers are considered to be the tertiary consumer. Right? So in this way, this food chain works in these type of regions in grassland. So grasslands basically receive about 10 to 30 inches of rain per year, and if they receive more rain, the grasslands would become a forest. So this is a fact that if they received less rainfall, they would become a desert too. So grasslands are often located between deserts and forests. So it depends upon the rain. If they receive more rain, they would become forest, or if they receive less rain, they would become a desert. Right? So throughout the world, grasslands are known by many different names. In North America, they are known as prairie. In Asia, they are known as steppe. In South America, the pampas, and in South Africa, a veldt. This is just for the general knowledge. Right? So that was all about these two major habitats which we discussed in today's session, the grasslands and deserts. Right? In the next session, we will discuss about other major habitats too. I hope you enjoyed today's session. So we will meet in the next session and we will learn about other major habitats. Till then, keep learning.